Framo ato abusan framo munyina aha UTV so ene omayimu ene amakodo so nsam ayensa kania boaboa no eno na edu so ayede ebramo efri abeka junction ewo enkrakopo mu this way chocolate drink also do here ene enso special ice enu si ensuo mu ode ene mu eya kojin ena afa special drinks enu so mu guagodo do pe bia no wombe yi bi ede amount sa enyumako ene aboafo enkae na akabom aso yasene ayede awie pram tibeka sebo no ebramo sanso ena DSTV channel 360 kasebo no ye twa eguso da de bedi emu akotini bi enie Edom kuma wo mrahwedwafie akasa ede atudwasa nhyehyaya ewo se aban ene IMF mpanyfo eye no asent tentete hide and seek bi eye abemu Sanso na Ghana Highways Authority mpanyfo akasa de atudwasa wo mugu nhyehyaya so ebeye eyetama moto we nu yie ama sabi ahyen nam so a emhyehyɛ bia entumi embemu Sanso na adehia wonom ewo kunkum mangwase ewo aguna east menslimu wo fifi mantemu no wo nso akasa ede adesredia to Ghana mpanyfo nim se ni die mada akwan a wo nam so no enye na onhwe no onyama wo na afen so etichafo atena ye teachers quarters nso wo san ehia ebi South Africa mampanyi Cyril Ramaphosa nso akasa ediafa enema pii ho Awusanfo wei ane ensabia ebi eka na editie na edihwe ene aso no so kojia yede ebramo ewo UTV so ewo enkran abeka junction Midday ade afia edutwumwa brosa me ena awie pram to reka sebo no mede ebramo afi emu ensam ankasa enie Sese o mai sikasam enkoye agiegua ne sa enam so amaban ade atodwase wo dwane akotoa IMF sede beya eje betumi anya emo kakra de afiri honom amaye nkom atumi akenkan ye e sikasam ho na no ena edom kuma wo mrahwedwafie wonom akasa de atodwase enhyehye wo se aban ene IMF mpanyfo eye no asa won show commitment bia na mpatu ho ache bia enhyeda emamu NDC mrahwedwafo yi wo mo de ato aban enim sei eba sikasemu a aban edin tetete eye hide and seek bi akese se ya aban person ni IMF ekọ no eno so nya ade akwan bi asebeboa o man sikasem eno chese besi na kwa 2023 budget a ewo se nka cha bosumi ewo nde tosu edunum enka osofo sho o man sikasem tutu so otumi kenka wo mrahwedwafie no omoda so extra Ghana mpo omoda so ade pempem wo ho a wo mu ehu de wonye enfa 2023 budget no ehu
The government of Ghana has been playing hide and seek with the IMF and with the people of Ghana. The IMF program and its negotiations has not been progressing because it is quite clear that the government is looking at Plan B and not the IMF. So they want to hold on to the IMF and pretend that there's an IMF negotiation, whilst on a daily basis they pursue options that are inimical to the economy, which will further dampen the spirit of the IMF and the international community, because those measures they are still pursuing are based on debt and without serious reforms that the IMF requires. And it is the reason the budget had to be postponed, because there have to be very clear, tough policy decisions that must be announced in the budget. Notable amongst them is that the government has to come clean on how to deal with our unsustainable debts. And the question of debt restructuring and engaging our creditors in order to bring our debt to sustainable levels is a matter that the government is not comfortable to communicate, but must communicate that in the budget. In the meantime, they are buying themselves time to see whether that can disappear, but they will need to take that bold decision on debt restructuring because it is not an option. Ghana, as we speak today, does not comply with the requirements of the IMF for a funded program because the IMF does not lend into an unsustainable situation, and Ghana's debt has been concluded to be unsustainable. And this fact was communicated to government in its aid memoir that the IMF issued the last time before it left. So there is no way we can have an IMF program that is supported by funding without undertaking steps to bring our debt to sustainable level so that we are in compliance with the IMF's own internal requirements.
Kevin Taylor nsɛmtwerɛni na ɔyɛ Ghana deshe konkron nanso America broch memu na abrantie ɔteɛ waka agu mframum sɛ MPP aban ahyase tete MPP ya party mani bi na ɔdɔmo awura vigilante ekuo ni mu sɛ bɛyɛ na emfie empinu ne aduoni na 2024 abato ne duru so a saafo no wonom ebe preprento kwa mudahwie gocho boye na omaha adwiye pa ewo abato no emu na sanse beto odwane ene dom kuma ewo mrahye bedwafie wonom so asom eka bie wo magina so de ato omampanyi na adodankwa akufuado ena afe bambo ene amanyoye asoafo no enim se asem ye opanyi de ato dwane no kura kitikiti bi betumi afrimu abanu ntino wonhwe na onyemu ehwehwemu.
Our attention has further been drawn to an exposé by a Ghanaian journalist based in the USA, Kevin Taylor, which suggests the recruitment and training of mercenaries by government operatives based at the Jubilee House to cause chaos and mayhem in the country and blame the political opposition. In the exposé, one DCOP Asare is identified as the officer in charge of the training of the mercenaries at the Jubilee House. Photos of a truck with a container mounted on the trailer, allegedly used to transport a cache of arms meant for the use of the mercenaries, is displayed. Due to the seriousness of the allegations made, and coupled with the involvement of government-sponsored armed attacks in the disruption of the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency by-elections, we demand an urgent independent probe into the allegations made. The minority in parliament feels discontented and alarmed by the politicization of the security services and the armed forces under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government. This unfortunate phenomenon has contributed to low morale amongst the officers and men of our armed forces and the other security services. The politicization of the security sector manifests itself in, first, the mode of recruitment of personnel into the various services. Most often, unqualified personnel who are politically connected to the MPP administration are the ones who are recruited into the security services. Whilst we are grappling with the fallouts of the economic mismanagement of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government and its dire attendant security implications, the Electoral Commission of Ghana has determined that for purposes of registering newly qualified voters for the upcoming 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, only persons issued with Ghana cards will be allowed to register as voters. In pursuit of this reckless agenda, the EC has proposed to introduce a CI before Parliament, even when it is fully aware of the fact that Ghanaians in their millions still do not have the Ghana card through no fault of theirs. For instance, data from the National Identification Authority, NIA, indicates that only 16,654,072 Ghanaians out of a total population of about 31 million had registered for the Ghana card as of July 2022. Out of this number, only 13,316,612 of them have been issued with their Ghana cards. What this means is that over 3 million Ghanaians who queued to register for the Ghana card have still not received them. Given the challenges the NIA is faced with, even in distributing the Ghana card to Ghanaians who have duly registered, it will be preposterous for the EC to continue to insist on using the Ghana card as the sole identification document for the upcoming voters' registration exercise. The minority has also become aware of a well-hatched dubious plot by the EC and the NIA to manipulate the data of registered Ghana card bearers in such a manner that will effectively ensure that several Ghanaians in perceived NDC strongholds are disenfranchised. In the circumstances, we call on well-meaning Ghanaians, the clergy, Peace Council, and our bilateral partners to speak out now in order to preserve the peace and security of our country.
Sa suboi ena bambo swafo a woni ononyamfo Dominic Nitivu ede atudwase no kura bi enim enisiganafo entwi wani.
There are outstanding cases that are still under investigation. But what have we done? The Ghana Police Service has reorganized itself and has established what we call cold cases department to make sure that each and every case does not die. We are still investigating, and we invite any Ghanaian or any person who has information to bring to us. There is no limitation on criminal cases, and we are working hard to make sure that whoever breaks the law will be brought to book.
When the minority says that a certain Calvin Taylor, who I believe you all know is engaged in yellow journalism and should not be taken seriously, goes out there to make such huge allegations without substance, and the opposition in parliament without any sort of evidence, we say that we are recruiting and training of mercenaries, and I'm quoting, the minority attention has been further drawn to an expose by a Ghanaian journalist based in the United States, Calvin Taylor, who suggests the recruitment, they're not even sure, the recruitment and training of mercenaries by government operatives based at Jubilee House to cause chaos and mayhem in the country and blame the political opponents. No such thing is taking place. This government has not brought anybody into Jubilee House who is not a soldier, who is not a police, or who is not into national security. We have not done it since we came to power, and we don't intend to do it. No evidence of that nature. Of course, I will not come and tell you that we have not had enhanced security at Jubilee House. But that is a prerogative of government. But government has not recruited anybody outside the recognized security forces. That is the police, the armed forces, and members of the national security, particularly the police and the armed forces, to ensure that the number one gentleman, the seat of government is safe, and you and me are safe. So I want Ghanaians to dismiss this allegation by the minority and cast it into the dustbin, because it is not a true story and there is no evidence to such. I can assure you that Jubilee House is an open place, that you can go there and verify what I'm saying. In fact, you can go to Jubilee House and interview the security personnel there, or anybody who works there, or anybody you know who works there, or who has visited that place. And you'll be told that there's nothing like that, and that this is the imagination of the minority in parliament, and people should disregard it.
Director Emma Ghana School of Law eye Oraya Opon wakasa ede atu edwase enya de anampo a lawyer fo a o man Ghana ehia e wo memu ene sabi woni a wasua ade ekọ enimu ye pa wonim de mu do ewo eye emra adwumanim na sabi oso wo bu wo hu wakonensa nyina mu na no ena ogina so ede to school fo na namusifo nyina nim se ne de mu ada enya ade a Ghana School of Law wonom ebesoso ensem hunu subantantan ena afa enienso ade eni suban boni bia e wo school ni mu
kwankyere for the Ghana School of Law no ene lawyer yaw opon what the sansemana to jawa bra Student Representative Council ye 20 friend SRC wana wo hono wondwumadi abawie ya woda no wontumi eda sha foforo nsa mo so ba beto wondwumadi no eso na dwumadi na se ye no na lawyer ya wo pon we kasa no de to nanim se be mera kakrani Ghana School of Law wo ho abansem pa nyina no na fa so hwe bi ho ensensem wo de no nso eto nchen a SRC for de wondwumadi abawie ye na dadafo bi so no wo bai no kwan wo fa so eku no sikasem ototo no no na no nso entwa yie na abofra uso na mu wie mponu di nantwinam na ifira ase na dache behu nam wie a enam pen e na obewie nyina ni ntwa yi wo fira ase a uso amra mponi na ochina bi no ba beye mranim ni a ene na lawyer papa ben e na ba beye o mayimu ugina so de kokoboni afutu sei e ma SRC fofoforo ya pa wo mu ise.